according to God's will and purpose for our very lives. We know the Holy Spirit is a gift giver. We know the Spirit also functions as a fruit producer in our lives. And it comes forth with love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. We know the Holy Spirit gives knowledge. The knowledge that the Holy Spirit of God give reside in our very lives. That's how we can see the things that are of the Spirit, because he's given us God knowledge, his wisdom, his understanding. We can see deeper into the Spirit. He teaches us how to perform. That's the knowledge of God. He teaches us how to perform the miraculous functions. He teaches us how to pray. He teaches us how to study. He teaches us how to interpret his very words. That's the knowledge. That's the function of the Holy Spirit when he's given us knowledge. And we know the Holy Spirit teaches us who Jesus really is. Because without the Holy Spirit, we wouldn't know. We wouldn't be able to decipher the good from the good from the bad, or the bad from the good. Because when we're, like I say, when we're having the Holy Spirit that's within us, we're able to test the spirits. Whether, when you're testing the spirits, when the Holy Spirit is testing the spirit, it's testing it to see that spirit is good in that person. Or it's testing it to see if it's evil. It's testing to see if it's of God, and it's testing it to see if it's of the devil. Because the devil is very cunning and crafty, and he will come to confuse God, people. But the thing is, when you have the Holy Spirit in you, that's your conscience being. You can see deeper into the spirit. You can see that the devil is trying to coon you, trying to craft you into doing things that are evil. So we must continue to be led by the Spirit of God, being teachable by the Spirit, because the Spirit is the revealer of truth, and he won't guide us in the wrong direction, but he will guide us into the righteous, truthful way of living, the righteous and the truthful way of doing things the way that God has predestined us to do. So grab a hold to these the truth of the Spirit. Grab a hold of what the Spirit is speaking to you. Allow the Spirit to speak in this season, because the world is, like I say, is in a chaotic place. It may look dark with the natural eye, with the physical eye. It may look dark with the fleshly eye. But God's saying, if you're seeing this thing deeper into the spirit realm, you'll begin to see the mysteries of God. You'll begin to see the book of Revelation begin to speak. You'll begin to see the deeper things that God is revealing to us in this season. And then we know that the Holy Spirit is a protector. He will protect you. He will warn you of evil. He will warn you of the evil things. He will warn you. Your spirit may feel a shaking. Your spirit may feel as though something is occurring in the earthly realm. That's the Spirit speaking beyond the earthly realm, telling you the things that is deep in the spirit, so that you can see with the natural eye as well as your spiritual eye the things that are occurring in the earthly realm. So we know the roles of the Holy Spirit is to give us strength. It's to help us fight against sin, because it doesn't want us to live in that sinful nature, because it's the Spirit of God. The Spirit of God is pure. It's whole. It's righteous. So it's gonna fight us. It's gonna fight against sin. So you're seeing, your mind will tell you to do one thing, because that's the flesh telling you, oh, go do that sin. But the Spirit is telling you and is convicting you and telling you, don't do that, because that is not of God. That's not pleasing to God. You can, the Spirit convict you so that you can do the right thing by God. Never grieve the Spirit. Never grieve the Spirit. How you grieve the Spirit is when you go forth and do the sin that the flesh is telling you to do, and you don't receive what the Spirit is telling you to do. So that's how you grieve the Spirit. And then when the Spirit is making utterance to the Father, don't quench the Spirit, but allow the Spirit to flow. Because that's the unknown language speaking to Abba Father, the deepest things that are in the spirit, that's in the vessel of man, that the pain, the hurt, the wounds, that's the Spirit is uttering, crying out to the Father when the flesh is weak. So never grieve the Spirit. Allow the Spirit to flow. That means the giftings of tongue. Allow it to flow. Allow it to flow to the Father, because that's how your answers come. Is when you're speaking in the unknown language, in utterance, moaning and groaning to the Father. That's your spirit man rising up, speaking for you. These are the roles of the Holy Spirit. Is here to function on our behalf. That's the precious gift. But Jesus said, I'm going to leave with you a comforter. And I'm going to leave that comforter because he had to go back to the Father. He had to went back to the Father to prepare a place for us for his second coming. But but Jesus and God love us enough that he left the Holy Spirit as our comforter to keep us, because he know that the flesh will get weak. And when the flesh get weak, he said, this what I have left you, which is the Holy Spirit, will keep you, will guide you, will protect you. It will teach you the deepest things of the Spirit. It will test spirits. It will direct you in the right path that you should go. So those are the roles of the Spirit. And we must learn to walk in the Spirit. The Holy Spirit wants to live in our hearts. He wants to speak to us through God's words in the Bible. The Holy Spirit wants to empower us. Even if the Bible is not in front of us, the Holy Spirit still speaks to us. It still tells us, okay, that's danger there. Okay, it tells us how to live. It tells us, okay, you need not to do those things because that's not pleasing to God. So the Holy Spirit wants to empower us. How do the Holy Spirit wants to empower us? It wants us to get deeper into God's words. It wants to teach us the things that are of God so that we can live according to the will and the plan that God has already predestined for us. The role of the Holy Spirit is to help us, because sometimes you get so weak you can't even help yourself. But the Holy Spirit wants to help us. So let's not us grieve him. Let's not us grieve the Holy Spirit, because this is the comforter that Jesus have left for us to carry us, to guide us. So let's not grieve him when he's speaking, but instead push back the flesh and allow the Spirit to begin to speak. Because when the Spirit speaks, God is speaking to you. It's God's very Spirit that's speaking to you. That's his connection to us, is through the Spirit. But listen to God. Listen to the Spirit of God. Obey him. We must be obedient to the Holy Spirit as he speaks to us on a daily basis. So that's the role. Those are some that's some information on the roles of the Holy Spirit. In these seasons, in these times, be guided. Be guided by the Holy Spirit. Be kept by the Holy Spirit, because the Spirit is going to keep you in these chaotic times. So we want you to continue to steadfast on God's words, continue to feed the Holy Spirit, continue to fast, continue to lay out, continue to walk in the Spirit, continue to see the things that are of the Spirit. And as God begin to speak, begin to hear in the Spirit as he begin to speak in the Spirit to you. This is Prophetess Lakeisha McLeod with Emmanuel Prophetic Ministry. We love you at Emmanuel Prophetic Ministry. God bless you. I love you. Have a nice day.